What's up guys, Techmaster back with another video. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I have been quite busy with college prep and homework and all sorts of stuff in my daily life. But today we're going to be going over the main reasons why the iPhone Air is a complete flop. Now, this phone is a beautiful looking phone. It is thin, razor thin, has titanium, and is just so incredibly designed with its massive screen and all sorts of other pro features. But the main reason I don't think this phone is worth it is the price, some missing features that I think are very important, and just mostly the way that Apple's priced this phone. So this phone starts at $1,000, and yes, it comes with 256 gigs of default storage, but the iPhone 17 is cheaper, and it has a better and superior camera, and it has much better battery life. This phone has very poor battery life, especially when compared to previous versions and all sorts of things. Now, Apple's claims will be like, oh, there's the powerhouse chip with all-day battery life, but that is not the case. Several users have reported around 4.5 hours of screen on time, and nowadays that is quite bad. That's very similar to the iPhone 12 mini. And yes, you get this powerhouse chip, but you also just are sacrificing tons of battery life. This phone is barely an all-day phone whatsoever. And even though this phone has the latest A19 Pro chip, it also has one less GPU core, and because it's a thin and light design with titanium and doesn't have the vapor chamber cooling, people have also reported a lot more throttling on this compared to the 17 Pro, which has a much better thermal system. Now, yes, aluminum does conduct more heat than titanium, but making this phone razor thin also contributed to poor thermals and some gaming tests and all sorts of other things. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you want the best performing phone and the best thermals, then you have to go for the 17 Pro. And the camera is also one area where we're sacrificing some stuff. So yes, it's got a 48 megapixel fusion camera and the new selfie camera, but it's a single camera. It doesn't have an ultra wide. It can only zoom into 10x, and it's just not great by today's standards, especially when compared to some cheaper Pro phones in the past and all sorts of things. So you do get all these dual video capture or whatever, but stabilization, whatever, but the photos look awesome. But paying $1,000 for one camera is just such a ripoff nowadays, especially since $200, $300, $400 Samsung phones and other Sony phones and stuff have way more than two cameras in them. So it just kind of sucks that we're seeing one camera in a $1,000 phone, which is just, it's kind of embarrassing nowadays. And yes, we have really nice performance, but as I said, throttling is not going to be the best, and we'll have way more throttling on this compared to the 17 Pro. And so they didn't pack in the vapor chamber cooling. It does have the new chip, as I said, but it's just not the best. And they will prioritize all-day battery life, but none of Apple's claims are even remotely right. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. So the iPhone Air is rated at 27 hours of video playback, but the 16 Pro is also rated for 27 hours of video playback. But in real world battery life, the 16 Pro nearly doubles the iPhone Air because it's thicker, it's got a bigger battery in it, and it's just powering less RAM, and etc. So do not think that the iPhone Air has the same battery life as the 16 Pro, because it is basically half the amount of battery life you're getting in the 16 Pro. And especially nowadays, that just looks really bad, especially since even the 17 will get 8 hours or so of screen on time, which is, again, double the amount you're getting on the Air. And then the 17 Pro will probably get around 10 hours or so because they packed a massive battery into it. And so I just genuinely think the iPhone Air is not worth it, especially since the iPhone 16 Pro is around $700 on Amazon, and for a price comparison, a value comparison, there is no comparison. The 16 Pro is a far superior phone to the iPhone Air. It has much better camera system with new cameras, up to 25x zoom, an ultra-wide camera with incredible quality. It has titanium, a much larger battery. It's got all sorts of other things like a faster USB-C port, better thermals. Everything is better on the 16 Pro, and it's 1 year older than this, etc. And yes, it may not have the absolute fastest chip in it, but it is still a monster chip, and there's not as much RAM as in the Pro phones this year. But the A18 Pro chip combined with the incredible thermal system that's in the 16 Pro, like, it will be awesome. And as I said, I think if you can find this phone refurbished for around $700 and at least with 90% battery health in it, then I think that is a far better buy than this phone, especially since the iPhone 17 is much cheaper than the iPhone Air. So I generally just feel like the iPhone Air is kind of a flop. Again, if they release the second version and it's cheaper and has better battery life, then maybe it'll be a better phone. But I do think this first version of the iPhone Air is not worth it. And that's kind of my honest take. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you own this phone? How's your experience? And I guess I'd love to hear. And I will see you guys in the next one.